Caleb, Fong himself.
What's up, man?
Thanks for joining my interview today.
Of course.
So Caleb, you are my main coach at the moment. So welcome to my interview.
Appreciate it,
my
man.
podcast, YouTube channel, everything.
Happy to be here.
So Caleb, my first question is, what do you do for a living? So you are an NCI coach right now. What did you do before? What's your history?
Yeah, man. So yeah, as you said, right now I'm a business coach. So specifically for online fitness coaches, online entrepreneurs. My background's in online fitness. So for 6 years, I ran an online coaching business. We were a 7-figure business. So we were doing between 83, 87K a month. And then I sold that business and moved into business coaching. So that's what I do full time now.
So you're working for Jason with coaches with me to optimize systems for the clients, right?
Yes, yeah.
So my first question is, what's the difference between a good and a bad coach?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. In my opinion, I think a good coach is someone who's willing to build long-term relationships and long-term connection with clients, and someone who's willing to play the long game. I think coaches specifically are so focused on quick results, but to be a really, really good coach, you have to be in it for the long game and be willing to play for a long time. We always say, especially with online fitness coaches or coaches in general, like online entrepreneurs, the only way that you ever lose is when you stop, is when you quit. If you are consistent and you keep going, you always win. And so a good coach to me is someone that can play that long game and be willing to put in the work like that.
Yeah, that's for sure. And a good coach for me is someone who really wants to change a life of a guy, you know?
100%.
Because there are so many coaches out there are for the quick wins you give. You tell the client this is your nutrition plan, this are some pills, and you go on a diet, you know?
Yeah.
But it only holds for 2-3 weeks,
Yep.
and then the clients fall back.
Sustainability, right, is the key thing. I mean, a good coach can get somebody results. An amazing coach is somebody that can get somebody results and keep those results forever.
That's right.
Right? And so I think we always think about the results we get clients in that moment, but really it's not about losing weight or gaining muscle. It's can we keep that weight off? Can we teach them the lifestyle that's going to keep these things going? And that's ultimately what I think makes a really good coach.
That's the biggest goal of ours, yeah. So let's see some business side of coaching. Why do you think some coaches like us and everyone on NCI are making it?
Yep.
And some coaches don't? What's the difference?
Really good question, man. It's all about, I think the key variable, the change that a coach that's not going to succeed versus someone that is, I think comes down to two things. One is action. So a coach that's willing to take action, like you, when I give you advice, you implement the next day, right? It's quick action, very, very fast. Coaches who aren't doing as well, or somebody that may not make it to the level that you're at, or someone beyond, they think on these items for a long time, and sometimes they take action, sometimes they don't. And I think the other big component is obviously consistency. I was doing it for 6 years, and some coaches after 6 months give up because they're not millionaires, right? They're my business isn't $1 million business yet, and all these things. I'm like, yeah, you've been there for 6 months. That's nothing. So I think consistency and taking action.
Yeah, and I think it's with normal people too who are doing a diet, because...
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So you see there are go-getters, which are taking action immediately, and some people are oh, should I really do it? And things like that.
Yep.
So if you don't take action, you just can't get to your goal. So
I mean, it's like you said, the clients that think about hiring a coach and they think about starting something for years, and they've tried 1 million times on their own, so they know they can't do it, but they're still pushing off that one action that they know is going to take them to the next level, and ultimately that's why they don't succeed, right?
Yeah, and so if you go a route and it's the wrong way, you can always course correct, because you know it's the wrong way.
Yeah.
So if you don't even start, you can't course correct.
Yep.
So you're just sitting there and waiting for anything to happen, but
Literally.
You don't take action.
Yep.
So that's the difference.
100%.
Another question is, why are systems important?
Yeah, man. So you can have impact, you can make good change, you can help a lot of people, but you can only do so much without systems. At some point, your help and the way that you provide help is going to break. If you don't have systems, you can't streamline the process, you can't be more efficient, which means you can't help as many people.
Yeah.
So I think system, and obviously it's the same with a nutrition client, someone who's trying to lose weight. if they don't have systems in place to, to be able to keep on their diet on the weekends or like when they're on holidays, then they're just sort of like winging it. It's the same thing with a business client. If there's no systems in place, you're just sort of like thinking on the fly, and that never works out well. So systems make it more efficient for you to be able to move faster and make better decisions.
100%. And for the clients are like systems. So if you have a good system for the clients in place, you can make like results reproducible. So okay, you need to change some small things, but the whole system is like staying the same.
Correct.
Because the principles are the same for the humans.
100%. Always, all the way around, they're always the same. So I think that's the biggest thing there is like, if you don't understand those systems, then you're just sort of like guessing almost, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
That's right. And so another question is, so you had really much clients in your lifetime, right?
Yep.
So if it's like business clients or
coaching,
diet clients and things like that.
Yep.
So my question is, I see clients sometimes getting nervous after joining a program. Why do you think is that?
I think most of the time people are afraid of their own insecurities and their own faults. People understand themselves very well, and I think that when you're conditioned to fail over time, like a lot of nutrition clients who try a million diets time after time, they're programmed to think like none of these diets will work. So like, why will this next program work? And so a lot of the times when they join something, it's more so skepticism of like, am I gonna be able to do everything I need to do to succeed in this program? And I think that's ultimately why people get scared.
Pretty much, yeah. And I think another thing is if they had a coach or a program before, but they had a bad experience.
Right.
They are transferring it to you. You know?
Yes, they're jaded from that experience for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at NCI and I have sort of your systems in place.
Yes.
So I have my own, but sort of yours too now.
Yep.
And you are like the world's biggest guys in nutrition.
For sure.
So it works.
Yep.
So one last question, Caleb. What was the best and biggest investment you have ever made for yourself?
Yeah, it's a good question. The biggest investment, and so far the best one, I'll double down on this. I mean, the biggest investment I made was actually into the boardroom. So I was a client, the same way you're a client right now, of this program. And that was the biggest investment I had ever made into myself. It was by far the best one as well. When I came into this program, my business was doing pretty well. When I invested in, it was almost all the money I had at the time in my account, and I paid for it and then immediately saw the benefits of that within the next few months. All my systems improved, my stress lowered, my revenue went up. All of those things did really well, but the best investment is always into yourself. And I think people think about investments as things that are like monetary. I mean, sort of a materialistic. So they're investing in like a car, they're investing in a house.
Yeah.
No one
They
thinks
want
about
it now, right?
Exactly, but they're not thinking about investing in themselves, which has the highest return of any investment you can have.
That's for sure.
And so that's probably the best investments I've ever made, was investing in myself, and it's always paid me double. So I think that's the best investment so far.
Perfect. Caleb, thank you, man.
Of course, brother. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me on.